Good afternoon. I am out and about this afternoon. I typically am at work this time of day. I got to feeling pretty sick this morning, and I told you I had bariatric surgery recently. Well, it's still a work in progress figuring out the diet after bariatric surgery. It's been just over a month since I had surgery. I've gotten through all of the diet stages, and I'm in the normal foods range now. I ate one slice of deli ham this morning. It was thin sliced ham. It totally messed up my system. I was in the bathroom puking this morning. So, well, for everybody that's been watching my videos, we've kind of got through this political season. Now we're kind of getting back to normal. I started off this channel talking about the kind of the decline of things here in the West. How I really want to see it's so many. There's so many facets to this problem, and it's a very complex problem. We have financial problems. We have moral problems. I think we have morale problems, and we just need to elevate our outlook. I think all of us need to kind of step up a little bit. There's been a lot of news stories about men kind of giving up, not wanting to participate in society, which personally I get it. I do. I've probably been that way for the last 10 years. But at the same time, it's like, I'm not talking about relationships right now. Relationships are a whole nother dynamic, which sometimes they work for you, sometimes they don't. And I think I seem to do better on my own than I do in a relationship. So I choose to be doing things on my own. But that being said, I think it is important, especially if you have children or are planning to have children, to really focus on their needs, their priorities, how we're raising our children. I think it's really easy for us to want to be our child's friend and not their parent. I think that we are hesitant sometimes to give them the proper guidance, to tell them what we really think about controversial things going on in the world. I feel like I've slacked a little bit on certain things. When I my 13-year-old, well, soon to be 13-year-old daughter sent me her Christmas list, and I was looking at her handwriting, and I'm like, this handwriting is of a small child. This is like a child's handwriting. This is, her handwriting should be better. And at first I'm like, the schools aren't teaching handwriting. Well, parents can be looking at things like that too, and catching that early and helping our children. I take responsibility for that. So I got my daughter some books to start working on her handwriting, where she can start learning how to write cursive and all of that. So I realize, teachers can only do so much. Teachers are, I think, they have a lot on their plates these days. Although I do feel like the schools, I remember I was talking to my parents about this morning. I went over to their house for a little bit, and they said they started learning cursive in 2nd grade. And then I remember I came along, I was learning it in 4th grade. And now they don't teach it at all, hardly. So I don't really understand why it feels like our schools have dumbed us down in a lot of ways. And that needs to change. And I think as parents, we're going to have to take the lead on that. the schools are not doing their job where that's concerned. So that's something that I plan to work on in the next short while. I'm going to be working with my kids. My oldest daughter, I just want her to understand, she's 20 years old now. My mother was 20 when she had me. So my daughter's old enough to be thinking about getting married and having kids. I don't think she's ready for that mentally, emotionally. And that's something, there's a maturity level that's needed for all of that. And I don't think she's quite there yet. And I'm going to be going to Florida with her here in a few weeks to visit my youngest daughter. And so I'm going to take that opportunity to start having some serious conversations with her about this stuff. I don't know what her thinking is in terms of if she even wants to have children. My oldest daughter has some liberal tendencies, a little bit more liberal than myself anyway. So I'm just gonna have a conversation with her about it, what her goals are, what her priorities are. And it's like having children, I think, is one of the biggest purposes in life. Some people don't want to have kids, and it's like, I just can't imagine not having children. It's such a big part of life. I don't know. That's I have no regrets about having kids. I regret a little bit of the relationship stuff that, the relationship sometimes with the mothers, but relationships are just difficult these days. Anyway, just in general, I think we've really got to start working with our children, teaching the proper history of not only the United States, world history. I think it's important that kids have all this knowledge, that they know about how we've gotten to where we are in the world. A lot of our children, I just don't think they're learning a lot. They learn some basic facts. They learn how to go in and pass a standardized test, but I think the schools have really let us down, at least the public schools. Some of these private schools do a pretty good job. One of the things I'm going to mention to my oldest daughter is that a lot of these people that are wealthy, that they are sending their kids to private schools, and there's a reason for that. And I can totally understand it. I can completely, totally understand that. I think they probably do a better job of educating the kids. Not to say that these kids are perfect coming out of these private schools, but homeschooling is another good option. But we just need to be thorough. I think we need to give our kids a lot and make sure they're learning all the information that they need to know. I think really working with them on reading skills at a young age. They should be reading by the time they go to kindergarten. I had been reading probably 2 years before I started kindergarten. My mother really worked with me and my brothers growing up, and so I think kids should be reading before they go to kindergarten. Now, I will tell you that it helped going to school, and my reading came more. I did more complex reading after getting into school and learning more, but I think that it's reading skills, math skills, at least basic math skills. I know as parents, we can get our kids probably at least through basic algebra. Some of the more complex math, maybe not everybody can do. Getting into calculus and things like that, it gets a little bit complicated, and that we may have had this math stuff 20 years ago. So we gotta turn this society around. We gotta turn the society around. It's time that we started taking on our responsibility and really started working to improve the lives of our children and improving the society that they're growing up in. So, for those of you that like these videos, I'm putting a Cash App here on my videos. I would just say, just if you feel like it, if you're so inclined, shoot me $1 or $2 if you like my content. I'm just getting started. I'm going to get this channel up and running as best I can. I'm kind of busy with work and things like that, but any donations are always appreciated, and I'll be putting these videos out as frequently as I can. I understand that everybody out there finances are tight these days, so I get it. No hard feelings if y'all don't donate. So, but it does encourage me to go continue putting out content, and a few extra bucks here and there is helpful. So anyway, I put my Cash App, Fight the Decline, which is just meaning the decline of society, that's my Cash App. So Fight the Decline on Cash App, and $1 or $2, that's perfectly fine with me. That would be great. I would appreciate any amount that you throw at me. You guys have a great day, and I will put out another video soon. Have a good day.